Okay, so today we're going to do a very simple flower picture. I've started out by coloring my paper. Okay, and what I used was a color stick. Now, you can do a color stick or you could do a crayon. It's entirely up to you what you use. Okay, I just chose to use the side of a color stick and do it in advance. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our green color stick, and again, you can use crayons if you choose, and we want to add some stems. Now, I want to make them maybe about 1/4 inch wide. The other thing that I definitely want to do is I want to make sure that I have different heights. You don't want to have it all the same height so you have all your flowers in one spot, okay? And you can make them crisscross over each other a little bit if you want. That'll make it a little more interesting. And let's see, I'll make one that's a little bit shorter here. And I want something really nice and tall up here because I really want to show off my flowers. Okay, so once we have our stems, and if you go a little bit wide, that's okay. Like I did there, I went just a little bit wider than I originally planned. So I'll make them all a little bit thicker. Now that I have some stems, okay, I will start to add in some leaves. You can add some different shapes. Now, what you want to do to really make it interesting, go ahead and trace heavy or with a little bit more pressure. That gives you a darker value. And remember, value is how light or dark a color is. Then you can lightly color over it, and that way you get your lights and your darks. So I'm adding in my veins. And because I didn't color real dark with the blue, it's not hard to cover it up. Now, every single one does not have to have a leaf. That's entirely up to you how many leaves you put on here. I just think it makes it a little more interesting if you at least have 3 or 4 leaves. And we'll make another one here, and maybe I'll put one right here. So it looks kind of like it's just fitting in there. And I'm going to shade that in. Okay. So I have some leaves on here. Maybe a little more here, just for fun. Okay, so we have a variety of leaves on here. Now, the next step, we're going to take our water bottles. But first I want to show you what happened was we were making some water bottle flowers for recycling for Earth Day. Well, some people were helpful in other ways because they sent in soda bottles. Well, the problem is the soda bottle doesn't work when you're making these water bottle flowers, but they work great for stamped flowers. Okay, so what we're going to do is, before we add in our paint, I almost forgot, we're going to add some grass down here at the bottom. So just go ahead and color in some grass. See, sometimes adults can be forgetful too. So now I have my grass in there. Now, right now, on my paper, I have all cool colors. I have blue and green. Now I'm going to use warm colors to make my flowers. So I'm going to take my first soda bottle, almost said water bottle, but you see how there's a difference in the shape at the bottom? Okay, So the water bottle is kind of flat, but the soda bottle has these nice, almost like petal designs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of my bottle and I'm going to dip to get some paint on there, and very carefully I'm going to place it in. Now it's really important to hold your paper in place and lift straight up, and you have a flower. Isn't that just great? Now I'm going to add one more red one, okay, and I'm going to put it here. Now I'm using acrylic paint, so that will take a couple hours to dry. Now another type of bottle that was brought is that sparkling water, okay? So this one I'm going to do kind of a double flower on. So I'm going to take my red, okay, and I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to hold it in place and lift it up. Now, because this one has a little bit deeper lines in there, I'm going to add in a cool color over top of it. So I'm going to take my purple. Now I'm going to turn it just a little bit so that it goes over my red, but in between the petals. Now watch this. Isn't that cool? So now I have a double kind of flower. Now, using my regular soda bottle again, I'm going to put an orange flower. Got to make sure I get it on all over, and I'm going to put it up here. Okay, I'm going to lift, and I'm going to do another one right over here. Now, it's almost at the edge of my paper, so I want to be careful that I don't get it all over my mat here. So I'm going to just tuck this underneath and press, and there we go. That way I can pull this off out of the way, because that's just a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and now I'm going to take this and I'm going to do my yellow, and I'm going to twist again. This is another one of those special water bottles, and it didn't quite fill everything in, so I'm going to do that. And then now, just for fun, I think I'm going to take my red, okay, and this is going to be the last dip, okay, and I'm going to add some red over top of that one just to give it a little more interest. Ooh, that came out nice. We've got that little swirl of color going on. And that's how we make our water bottle printed flowers. I hope you enjoy.